The night was heavy with anticipation as the church bells rang out across the Brooklyn rooftops. Steam rose from the grates below, twisting through the air like restless spirits of the past. This was not the Brooklyn of lullabies and quiet streets. This was the Brooklyn where stakes were deadly and loyalties bled. Nick Palermo stood on one of those rooftops, his silhouette etched against the city skyline. The grief had eaten him alive, gnawing at his soul until all that was left was a shadow of the man he once was. His brother's death had set him on a dark path, and every choice he made now threatened to pull him deeper into that abyss. The pain drove him forward, pushing him towards decisions that would shape the fate of many. Across town, Bambi Palermo was dancing on razor-thin wire. The life of an undercover agent demanded masks and secrets, but the mask was slipping. The tug between her role and her identity began to fray the lines she'd drawn. The whispered meetings, the shadowed alleys, each one was a gamble with her life, with a wrong word poised to end everything. In the heart of Brooklyn's underworld was Goku D'Angelo, the godfather whose empire showed signs of crumbling. He was a man of strength, a leader whose vision held these bloodlines together, but the walls were closing in. The rivalries within his circle were escalating. Trust was a rare currency, and he was running short. Lopez, the FBI agent with a badge in one pocket and Bambi in the other, found himself teetering on the edge. His badge gave him power, but his heart was anchored to Bambi. Each day the danger grew, the line between work and love ever more blurred. In a world where one slip meant a bullet, Lopez was aware that love could be as lethal as any gun. Christian Zintelli, the devil in silk, was the figure everyone underestimated, and he relished it. His charm cloaked the darkness within, and he moved through the players as if the city were his orchestra to conduct. But his purpose was not harmony, it was chaos. Whispered deals and strategic blows, he was a force not to be dismissed. Mikey the Hammer, freshly dragged out of retirement, was another player who changed the board. With his return, the city trembled. His presence was a warning. When Mikey swung, nothing remained unbroken. Around a table thick with betrayal and whispers, the capos gathered. Blood was in the wine, and lies were woven into their prayers. Each sought to outwit the others, to stake their claim regardless of the cost. Overseeing a twisted marriage no one wanted, Admiral Impeach played them against each other, pushing weapons like candy and feasting on the chaos that ensued. In a dance where every step was a calculated risk, even the most formidable players wondered who would be left standing when the music stopped. Season 2 of Brooklyn Bloodlines promised no easy victories and no simple paths. "Loyalty costs everything," was the whisper in the night, as alliances were forged in deceit and shattered in the bloodshed.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
Bambi's Twisted Tales, Alice in Wonderland, Part 2, Through the Concrete Looking Glass. So Alice, right? Forget that cute shti with teacups and singing flowers. She ain't a kid lost in some rabbit hole no more. She's a broad with leather boots, a blade in her boot, and eyes colder than a bookie's heart on collection day. Wonderland? It ain't no dreamland. It's a fork-in mob town, concrete and crooked, with everyone looking to carve their slice of the pie and leave the rest for the pigeons. Alice first bumps into the rabbit, except now, this guy ain't hopping around babbling about being late. He's hunched over a bar in some smoke-choked social club, under the L-tracks, counting stacks, twitching like a fiend on his 5th espresso. He looks at Alice, sneers, says, "You late, doll." And late, in this business, that's how you end up in a trunk. Alice don't even blink. She peels off a fat roll, slaps it on the table so hard the whiskey glasses rattle. "Tell the Queen," she says, voice low, "I'm buying in." The whole place goes silent. Even the jukebox skips a beat. Word spreads fast. Alice ain't no stray wanderer. She's muscle in heels. So she makes her way down to the Mad Hatter's spot. Forget your cute top hats and riddles. This lunatic's running an underground casino in an abandoned subway tunnel. Lights strung up like Christmas. Hookah smoke thicker than a Jersey fog. Gamblers sweating bullets at the tables. The Hatter's laughing, twitching, shuffling cards like his life depends on it. He leans in, all cracked smile. "What's it gonna be, sweetheart? Hearts or clubs?" Alice lights a cigarette, takes a drag, blows it in his face. "I ain't here to gamble," she says. "I'm here to collect." His laugh dies in his throat. That's when the whole room realizes this ain't no tea party. This is a fucking shakedown. Then there's the Queen of Hearts. And let me tell you, this broad ain't no fairy tale. She's a boss out of Atlantic City, red gown slit to the hip, crown tilted like she owns the whole damn state. Her soldiers, big gorillas with spade patches stitched on their jackets, packing bats, chains, maybe a heater or two if you peek under their coats. She sits at the head of a long oak table, puffing on a cigarette holder long enough to poke an eye out, eyes sharp as knives. Alice steps in, leather creaking, face stone cold. The Queen sneers, "Another kid thinks she's a wise guy." Alice leans over, blows smoke right back at her. "Not thinking, sweetheart," she says. "Already playing." That's when the guards close in, ready to crack skulls, and Alice pulls a knife out of her boot, drags it down the tablecloth with a screech that makes everybody's teeth itch. Sparks fly off the candle holder. Message delivered. This ain't no broad to push around. But here's where Short gets sticky, the Cheshire Cat. Only in this Wonderland he ain't no goofy feline. He's a grinning rat working corners, moving product, always smiling, always cheating, never paying his full cut. He sidles up to Alice one night in a back alley, grin gleaming under a busted street lamp. "Stick with me, baby," he whispers. "I'll show you the shortcuts, make you rich without answering to nobody." Alice don't bite. She squints, flicks ash off her smoke, says, "Last guy promised me shortcuts. They found him in a Lincoln, taped up like a Christmas present. You keep smiling, pussycat, 'cause when the Queen finds out you've been skipping on her cut, that grin's all they'll find floating in the East River." Then it happens. Wonderland erupts. The Queen don't like Alice sniffing around her rackets. The Hatter feels threatened in his tunnel casino. The rabbit's books get messy. And the cat? That sneaky prick stirs the pot till the whole place goes up like a bonfire. Shootouts in tea shops, stabbings in alleyways, bodies getting dumped in manholes. Wonderland ain't whimsical. It's Mulberry Street in the late 70s. Blood in the gutters, cops looking the other way 'cause envelopes been passed around. Alice don't just survive it. She thrives. She pulls together her own crew. Misfits, broken toys, a couple of Hatter's dealers who switched sides after she showed 'em she had bigger balls than their boss. Soon her name's whispered in every joint. That Alice? Careful, she don't play.
Brooklyn ain't just bricks, blood, and bullets no more. Nah, now it's sweet. We talking Brooklyn Bloodlines candy. The only candy tough enough to sit at the table. Mikey the Hammer Fudge Bar. One bite, you're down for the count. Hazelnut, dark chocolate, espresso crunch, forget about it. Red velvet vendetta taffy, soft, chewy, with a hit that comes out of nowhere, like a friendly tap that turns into a left hook. Concrete jungle lollipops, hard as the streets, sweet as the score. They last longer than a sit-down with Goku D'Angelo. Cannoli crunch bites, bite-sized, but pack more power than a capo in a Cadillac. Ricotta cream center, forget about it. Brooklyn Bloodlines candy, one taste, you're made. Don't be a gavone eating them store-bought Mook's candy. Get yourself a piece of the empire. Brooklyn Bloodlines candy. Ask your bookie today.
Then comes the showdown, the legendary tea party. Except it ain't cups and crumpets. It's a sit-down in a warehouse dressed up like a banqueting hall. Long table, teapots filled with bourbon, pastries cut with powder, candles flickering over piles of dirty cash. The hatters laughing too loud, the rabbits sweating bullets, the cats lurking in the rafters, and the queen's at the head, staring like she wants Alice's head in a fucking shoebox. Alice slams her piece down on the table, steel on oak. Enough games, she says, voice echoing. Either I get my seat at the table or I flip the feckin' thing over. That's all it takes. Gunfire erupts, guards topple, gamblers scatter, the rabbit bolts squealing like a rat in a trap. The hatter catches a slug in the shoulder. The cat? Gone in a puff of smoke, leaving only that creepy grin spray-painted on the wall. And the queen, she's still standing, screaming, "Off with her head," as if she runs the joint. But morning tells a different story. Wonderland's in ruins. Card soldiers sprawled out in gutters, the Hatter's casino smoldering, Rabbit's books seized, and the Cheshire Cat found swinging from a lamppost, grin plastered on his face one last time. Alice don't smile, don't celebrate. She just walks into the Queen's busted-up palace, smoke trailing behind her like a halo from hell. She don't need to say a word. She drops into the throne, crosses her legs, lights a fresh smoke. "Wonderland," she mutters, more to herself than anyone left breathing, "ain't about dreams no more. It's about respect. And if you ain't got that, you're already dead." And that's how Alice took the crown, not 'cause some prophecy said so, not 'cause a rabbit led her to destiny. Nah, because she had the guts to carve her name into concrete, one blade slash, one bullet, one broken fairy tale at a time. Moral of the story: don't wait for no magic rabbit hole or happy ending. This world don't hand you shut. You take what's yours, you watch your back, and you never trust a grinning cat. Respect buys more than money and shortcuts. Shortcuts'll get you 6 feet under. Wonderland, Brooklyn, doesn't matter. The rules are the same. This bedtime story's been twisted, cracked, and fed through the grinder courtesy of Bambi and the Pizzaverse. Subscribe, smash the bell, and remember, dreams are for suckers. In the Pizzaverse, it ain't magic, it's muscle. Thanks for watching.